What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The NFL draft is 2.5 weeks away from today as I sit here. Been doing a lot of research on the draft, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt about who are Pittsburgh going to take? What are our biggest positions of need? What positions do Pittsburgh need to look after the most? Who needs to fill in as starters next year? Who needs to be late round steals? What is the value for certain players at certain places? And I've got all that coming to you guys in the next 2.5 weeks. I'll be bringing you guys probably 2 videos a week for the next few weeks. And one of the series you guys tend to always like that I do is the Should the Steelers Draft series, where I break down a certain position or a certain player, and I tell you guys whether or not the Steelers should target that player as the best possible player for our first overall pick. This year, I'm going to focus on certain positions and tell you guys whether Pittsburgh should draft certain players at this position or wait until a later round to get a better value pick, depending on how good the amount of players in this draft are or how deep the position is in this draft. And today, I want to start with a position Pittsburgh has been lamenting for the last year or two now. We have not really had a third wide receiver or a lot of times a second wide receiver on this team for several years. Wide receiver is my focus today, and I want to talk about some of the wide receivers available at our pick at 21. Pittsburgh picks at 21. But you guys know we have, 12 picks in this draft? We have a lot of picks, including 3 third-round picks. So the option is there to stack certain positions, to double up at certain places, to trade up and get better players at certain positions. We have a lot of options in this draft. And I will say right away that there are 2 positions that Pittsburgh needs starters in right now. In my opinion, if you look at our current roster, there are 2 spots who don't have a day one starter or at least a clear option for a guy that could be a long-term starter at the position. And those 2 spots right now are wide receiver 3 and offensive guard. Isaac Seumalo left, so we need a left guard on this team. But also, wide receiver 3 is not clear right now. We have DK Metcalf. We traded for Michael Pittman Jr. Those are our clear 1 and 2. We have our 1 and 2 in place this year. Roman Wilson is still on the roster as a potential number 3. I think he fits better as a 3 than a 2, but we saw last year that Aaron Rodgers didn't like him. He's had issues in the past with injuries, with learning the playbook, with potential attitude. We've seen that our quarterback last year wasn't a fan of his, so he has the potential still. He's still a high-end pick with a lot of talent, and we've seen him flash at certain times, but he also hasn't always gotten or stayed on the field and hasn't always clicked with our quarterback. So with the new system now, he's starting fresh, and we'll see if we get the Roman we expect to get or a guy that's just going to be a bench piece, which means you need a wide receiver 3. So at the very least, you do need a high-end another wide receiver option. You need somebody drafted in the early rounds in this draft. Do you want to get one in the first round? Here are the options. So Pittsburgh picks at 21. The clear consensus number 1 receiver in this draft is Ohio State's Carnell Tate. He's going to be gone by 21. The chances of him falling to 21 are crazy. And I want to focus on guys that could be available at our pick 21, not guys we could trade up for, because I don't think you want to trade up for a wide receiver with the wide receiver being so deep in this draft. Wide receiver is a very deep, plentiful class this year, so there are going to be options in every round to potentially get a receiver. But I want to look at ones we're not trading up way too high to get, guys that could be in that 21 range. And my dream pick initially, when I first forged my number 1 draft, when I first made my draft before free agency, my number 1 pick of the guy that I wanted most on this team for the fit and for the style was Denzel Boston out of Washington. I am a big Denzel Boston fan. The dude is underratedly fast. He's a very good athlete. He's super tall. He's 6'4", 209, big frame, genuine wide receiver, outside guy. But my opinion on that has changed now because we have Michael Pittman now. We have another outside guy. So what you really want right now is a slot to replace Calvin Austin. When I was looking at Denzel Boston, we didn't have Pittman, and we still had Calvin Austin. Now Calvin Austin is gone, and we have Pittman. So now you don't want the big body outside receiver right now as a starter. You want the scat, kind of the fast, quick footwork, playmaker downfield guy. You have 2 kind of older. DK's not slow by any means, but DK's getting older and kind of does one thing well with the running straight and being strong. Pittman is kind of a similar guy where he's got sure hands and he's a decent route runner for short stuff, but he's not a big-time broken tackle playmaker. You want a fast guy that can extend the defense, take the top off, and make some really good plays downfield. So the Denzel Boston pick, while I'd still love it, I'm still a huge fan of his. He's no longer my ideal first pick for receiver. If we go first round, that's not my guy anymore. That's my number one. The other two guys that are probably going to go in this spot are Jordan Tyson out of Arizona, who I think is the most overall talented receiver in this class behind Carnell Tate, but he's often injured. The injury is a big thing for me, whereas if we have options at 21 and we're going to go receiver, I think Jordan Tyson's injury would scare me away. The dude is explosive and he's got all the potential to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL in the future, but the injury scares me away if you've got other options that are comparable at this spot. My dream pick, if we're going receiver in the first round, is Mekhi Lemon out of USC. The dude has kind of some Deontay Johnson to him, except he's a better overall athlete. The dude has really good footwork. He's a very good route runner. He's super strong for a guy that size. He can combat catch. He has really good hands. He's just super athletic and fun to watch. And he's also tough. He's got a bit of a Hines Ward in him. The comps are just kind of Steeler-related comps. But he's a broken tackle guy. He's hard-nosed. He's a route runner. He gets separation. He's got a combination of speed and power. If we're going first-round receiver, this is my target. If the guys that I read above are available and Carnell Tate's not, I'm looking at Mekhi Lemon as being the best fit for what the Steelers currently need as a first-round receiver. That being said, to answer my question in this video, should the Steelers draft a wide receiver first? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no as we stand right now on the roster because we have a much bigger need. And I mentioned it earlier. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm going to do a video on this later. I've got videos coming up today for both quarterback and guard. I'm going to talk about those positions. But I would say no in drafting a first-round wide receiver. If we get Lemon, I love it. If Boston falls to us, that's still going to be a good future piece. But if I'm looking at receivers in this draft, there is a bevy of second and third round receivers in this draft. There's a lot of underrated guys who could easily fit into what we need right now. Even if Roman Wilson doesn't work out and they've got to be the third guy this year, I can see a lot of these guys happening. There are names like Omar Cooper Jr., Casey Conception, Jeremy Bernard, Elijah Surratt, Chris Brazzell, Chris Bell, Antonio Williams, Skylar Bell. There are a ton of receivers who can do different things that Pittsburgh complements their current core with. So looking at two guys that I would look at if we were going to get a guy, say, in the second round, a guy that is, better value for the positional need, right? As wide receiver, I think, is our second biggest need right now. To get a guy like that with our second pick, the two guys I'm looking at right now are Omar Cooper Jr. and Casey Conception. Omar Cooper Jr., I've got some stats here. Omar Cooper Jr. in 42 games at Indiana had 195 catches, 1,798 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Really only exploded this year. Was really quiet his first two seasons at Indiana, didn't get to play much behind other guys. Came in and played last year and got, I think, 1,500 of his 1,700 yards this season. So another guy that's a very good route runner. He gets separation. He's just consistent with his technique. And he's a guy that's been shooting up draft boards, testing well, interviewing well. The guy's just really impressive. And I think he makes a really good number 3 on this team. The other guy I'm looking at is Casey Conception out of Texas A&M. He played for, I want to say 5 seasons overall, but really only played 2 seasons kind of fully, like really impact seasons. He played 3 seasons, 2 for a different team and then 1 for A&M. In 38 games, he has 185 catches, 2,218 yards, and 25 touchdowns. Incredibly productive. 2 of his 3 seasons when he played and was healthy. Came back last year and played healthy all season. The one thing is drops. Casey Conception is one of the biggest playmakers in this draft. His speed is incredible. The dude's footwork is very nice. He's got underrated hands for a guy his size. He can do just about everything except his drops. He had a lot of drops, and that is something you have to clean up. And that is why he's drawing comparisons to Deontay Johnson, who had a lot of drops here too. He's a guy that can reverse field. He's a guy that can make guys miss in the open field. The dude is electric. and he's not just somebody that's super small. He's got some size to go with his electricity, and I could see where he could be the ideal slot for any team in the league this year, but you got to catch the ball. He's got to clean those drops up. So I'd be leaning more toward Cooper than Concepcion just for the drop situation. But if I'm looking at favorites, and again, this is for second round, but the two guys that stood out most to me, and I won't go over everyone's stats here because I like a lot of these receivers. The two guys that I would be thrilled with are Jeremy Bernard from Alabama or Elijah Surratt from Indiana, who is Cooper's teammate. Surratt to me just has a strong frame. He's just one of these guys that I feel like is going to have like a 9-10 year career in the NFL of just being solid every time. And Bernard has got some return ability and some ability to do to take handoffs, end arounds, gadget things on top of being a speed guy down the field. He was the most reliable receiver for Bama a lot of times this year on a team that had some pretty good receivers. So kind of my underrated guys for around the second, third round pick are Bernard and Surratt. I'm looking second round at Cooper and Concepcion if they're there. Obviously, my favorite pick here is Mekhi Lemon. So I've gone over a bunch of guys, a bunch of different options. And I'm sure there's a few that I'm missing as well because it's a very deep class. But to answer the question, would I draft receiver in the first round? No, I wouldn't. Maybe if our dream picks for guard and other things go away quickly, and someone like a Mekhi Lemon is sitting there, you got to do what you got to do. But I would not prioritize wide receiver as the number one need in this draft because to me, it's the number two. What did you think of the guys that I went over on this list? Did I miss anybody? Do you have a dream pick out of these guys? If there's a guy that falls to us at 21, do you get him? If you got to trade up for somebody a few slots, is there somebody you really want to prioritize if they fall? And who are your kind of steals? Who are your second and third round steals if Pittsburgh prioritizes other things? Tell me in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to these Pittsburgh Steelers deep dives. And if you like these, should the Steeler draft videos like you have in years past, please share these videos. Please like them. Please comment, bump the algorithm. And I'm going to record my quarterback video next. I'm doing quarterback and guard today or tomorrow. And you'll be seeing those videos pretty soon on this channel. So stay tuned for all your Steeler needs. I'm bringing you guys some mock drafts soon. I'm talking about all positions. We're going to be doing this for the next 2.5 weeks. Go Steelers.